Welcome back to the Corporal's Almanac. Today we'll be talking about making vinegar, which is a crucial ingredient to many of the KNF practices we'll be developing. While brown rice vinegar is the most commonly used vinegar in KNF, making fruit vinegars are also beneficial and can be usually substituted in many recipes. Further, if we're already making FFJ, we have access to the residual fruits that we can continue to make vinegar with. So what's so great about fruit vinegar other than that it's using what's on hand? The first is that fruit vinegars typically have a host of micronutrients, such as magnesium, that won't be found in a distilled white vinegar or even a brown rice vinegar. These fruit vinegars are called living vinegars, which is crucial for us because living vinegars are raw and have not been pasteurized. This means they'll have a mother, much like, say, your kombucha or even the bottom of your unpasteurized apple cider vinegar from Bragg's. The mother of the vinegar, which you can see right here, is a substance composed of a biofilm of cellulose and a living acetic acid bacteria, best described as a jello-like disc or small slimy globules that you might notice. Living vinegar is also a great source of probiotics as well. While this may not necessarily be important in the process of, say, making water-soluble calcium, it's still an incredibly helpful source of microorganisms from the fruit, especially if those fruits are from your own farm. So here we can see the leftover scraps from our apple fermented fruit juice. It doesn't look like much, but it doesn't have to. So now technically, legally, here in the United States, vinegar is an acetic acid product made from apples. To be legal, vinegars in the US must contain a minimum of 4% acetic acid. The acetic acid bacteria that we are feeding is an obligatory aerobic nitrogen-fixing bacteria whose metabolic process byproduct is acid. Now, if we were to be making vinegar that we wanted to use for preserving or pickling, this vinegar that we're going to make today might not cut it. And it might, but we're not going to go through the necessary steps to verify that the vinegar is at least 5% acetic acid, which is necessary for the preserving to work. So what we're going to be doing is adding enough water to not only return what we took out, which you can see right here, but also double it. So what we're really trying to do here is increase fermentation by utilizing the sugars that are left and available. Whereas when we're making FFJ, we're trying instead to extract from the fruits and just enough fermentation to make it storable. By adding water so it can be diluted but not too diluted, as eventually the alcohols will turn to acetic acid from the acetic acid bacteria, and we want our vinegar to be reasonably strong. So let's add some water. Again, we're going to try to match where it was originally before we had taken it out, which is just about there. And then we're going to just about double that. So we'll probably go to just about there. Now we don't want any of this to be sticking above the water, so we're going to push it down. And we're going to want to store this in a dark, cool place for an extended period of time, at a minimum for a few months. The darkness is crucial. The acetic bacteria does really well in those dark places. They're actively present in environments where ethanol is being formed as a product of the fermentation of the sugars. So they're already there, and you're just trying to give them the space and time to do their thing in the ideal conditions. If you don't feel like waiting for 3 months for this process, you can consider adding a mother from another living vinegar to accelerate that process to about a month or so. Chances are, if you're watching this, that's not really your intent, so I won't go too much further on that. However, the benefits of using a previously existing mother is that you're less likely to grow other organisms that you probably don't want. That said, after 3 months or so, there may be some mold on the floating pieces of fruit, and that's okay. You'll want to strain it thoroughly, but some stuff will get through, and that's okay. It'll settle at the bottom. So over here, you can see that I have a banana vinegar that I made about a year ago. And if you look, you can see there's a bit of sediment, but also you can see there's this really nice mother that's just hanging out right at the bottom. And that's how you know you've really got at least some kind of vinegar going on. So I hope this was as clear as I could make it for you, given that I'm not showing the entire process, as it takes months, although maybe we'll do a follow-up on this when this vinegar right here is done. We might strain and pasteurize it, which will allow it to store almost indefinitely. So once we get this top on and we put this elastic back on, it's going to go down in my basement and I'll check on it in 3 months. So if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop them in the comments section. And as always, my name is Andy, and this is the Poor Pro's Almanac.